And a lot of times when he's posting those notes, there's an image that he'll put there, because obviously you're posting notices, but you want to have the image to attract hits. And I know it's an AI. It comes from an AI prompt. And I'm just like, could you not? Like, can we? I'm sure you can come up with something else. I'll teach you how to use Canva. You can, there's so many better options.
You know that I am as much against AI art and generative AI as the next person in the creative community. But I have to confess that for an idea generator, I ran a couple of prompts to get some ideas of technology that I might write into the traveler story that I'm writing. It's actually had a couple of ideas that weren't total crap, that were like, oh, I might be able to build off of something of this nature. It gave me an idea of something that I hadn't considered. Might even be a plot element that I could include.
Okay.
I may not be against using it for that sort of thing. It's not creating, it's just brainstorming. Give me some ideas.
Right. It's pulling ideas. It's pulling concepts and ideas together that you may not have thought to pull together on your own.
Mm-hmm. It's not something, it's not telling me what to write. It's giving me little plot elements that I might include in what I'm already going to write, going, oh, okay. Yeah. Technology might be able to do something like that. My super advanced robot could potentially do this thing.
Yeah, I have.
The example that I came up with that I thought was very exciting was since the guy that created her came from the future, I had asked it for technology that might have come back of a similar vein, and it said, oh, there's this neuro implant chip that's quantum enabled, whatever keywords you want to throw in there, that allows the person that the robot that it's plugged into in a combat situation to experience what's going to happen 0.4 seconds before it happens during combat. Almost a precognitive fighting element. And I was like, oh, I never thought of something like that. That's a plot element that maybe I'll change a bunch of the details about it, but that's something that I hadn't considered even possible.
They're an interesting concept. Interesting concept. So how'd you spend your 2026
ducking with
New
AI
Year?
should be absolutely fine. Just glance over and see a random comment. And you go, I have no context, but okay, we'll run with that. Rubber ducking with AI.
I believe rubber ducking is talking about, just whiteboarding shit and throwing out cloud bubbles.
Mm-hmm. Or in Paul's case, penguin discourse.
That could work too. Let's kick this puppy off. Howdy, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Dead Robot Society. I am Paul Lee Cooley. Joining me today, Veronica Jaguar and Mr. Terry Mixon. How the hell are you fine folks?
Caught up on my sleep.
No longer dealing with a household of flu-ridden people.
Was it like the zombie apocalypse? Flu zombie.
That's what teenagers sound like all the time. So it involved more tissues and saltines and but yeah, that was not a holiday tradition I wanted to resurrect. But alas.
I have no comment whatsoever.
And seeing some of the comments in the chat there, I want to specify that a lot of the suggestions that ChatGTP made were not ones that I would use because I didn't think that they were applicable and or usable. But there were a few nuggets in there that I could maybe turn into interesting ideas. So not all gold. That's the way it is.
So it's kind of like asking you to brainstorm something. Got it.
In a way, it actually is. And there's, you're being funny, but I'm being serious when I say absolutely. Brainstorming is throwing out a lot of ideas, many of them garbage, and just seeing what ideas come out of those ideas, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. So I completely and utterly agree that is exactly what I do.
The difference is there are times when you are just going down the worst ideas because they're bad ideas and you're spitting them out.
I never intentionally go for the really bad idea.
I don't believe that for a fucking second.
I am a stream of consciousness kind of guy. Once I get on a road, I keep marching on that road. And sometimes it takes me to destinations that maybe wouldn't be visited under normal circumstances.
Well, at least we have an admission on that front.
I mean, honesty, right? That's what we need. Wow.
Well, V, despite your zombie apocalypse, how are things going? What have you been up to?
Oh, let's see. Things are going okay. So, the past like 3 or 4 weeks has just been people being tired, the end of the semester. And of course, as a lot of us know, the minute that there's a lull, chaos fills in. And if you've been like pushing yourself and then you finally have a break, what happens? You get sick because your body's like, oh, I can finally catch up. And that's kind of what happened with my kid. And so she had gotten sick and that had kind of transferred to me. I got sick. We both started to get better. And then my husband got sick. He got better. And then literally the Sunday before Christmas, she bowed out of the bowling tournament because she wasn't feeling great. And then as the day goes on, she feels worse and worse. I'm like, all right. I don't like the sound of this cough. So at about 7:00 that evening, I decided to go to make an appointment for the urgent care the next morning, thinking, well, I can cancel it if we don't need it. Oh no, we needed it. Walk in half an hour later and a not terribly aggressive nose swab. Yeah. Hey, guess what? Y'all have flu for Christmas. And I've dealt with this before. Because when I think it was like 10 years ago, more than that. It was to the point where Christmas Eve I was doing the elfing of the gifts, and my husband was running like 103-degree fever, sacked out on the couch, just angled enough to look down the hallway to make sure the kids were in bed, and then just sick as a dog. And the kids I hadn't gotten it, so that's my party of one. Of yes, the flu shot works, at least for me. Or I've been thick enough that it helped. But we got through that. I hit my word count goal before the end of the year on my second chance romance thing. So I hit 80,000 words well before the end of the year. I still have a chapter and a half to go. The story won't finish.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll do some more today. I'll do some tomorrow. So I've got to be in a bowling alley tomorrow. But it is nearly finished. And being able to finish this means I can start working on stuff the next year for this coming year, which we're going to talk about later in the show. But yeah, so it's been pretty chill, just family stuff for the holidays and writing and all of the crazy end of the year nonsense that always happens. So
Always.
Terry.
First, I went ahead and dropped 4 documents into the live channel of my conversations that were revolving around the Traveler game fiction so that somebody could see the kind of prompts that I was tossing out and what was getting back as answers. A lot of it I couldn't possibly use. A lot of it I'm not inclined to use. Some of it's decent, but it gives you an idea of maybe how AI might be used to generate ideas brainstorming wise. I found that the follow-up questions you can ask, if you can tailor them right, can definitely make things more usable than their initial results. So let's see. I wrapped up a book the end of December. It was due the 27th and they got it the 29th, which was enough. I sent the first 2/3 of it to them on the due date and had to finish wrapping up the last of it over the next couple of days. And I'm going to try to avoid getting in that particular position again this next year by a New Year's resolution type thing that I had tossed out a couple of months ago. That rather than trying to write more, I just need to write less, but do it very much more consistently. So I'm going to try to write a chapter a day for the entire year. Just one chapter.
Doable. It's doable.
Yeah, I think it's doable. And we'll see how well it plays out. Will I miss a day or two? Almost certainly. Life tends to roll that way. But even if there's a couple of missed days, it's still going to be sufficient. We'll see how many words I get at the end of the year.
Yeah, that should be a scary number.
And I'm not going to get, Rick Partlow, numbers out of this, but, I'll get something.
Gender says chapter a day keeps the publishers away.
Keeps the publishers from nagging anyway.
Yeah, it keeps the publishers from holding up contracts.
Oh, let's see.
Remember this?
All of the home renovation stuff for 2025 is done except for them coming out to finish the windows. That should happen sometime before much longer.
Jesus Christ.
Well, some of the windows were defective that they installed upstairs.
Oh, okay.
So they've got to
The
come
glass
out
was
and
defective.
repair the bits that they're ordered the replacements for. So it's not
Gotcha.
going to be a big deal, but it's going to be something. And that'll be the end of it, hopefully, until the kitchen comes along in a couple of years.
Okay. Well, let's see. December 23rd.
A day that shall live in infamy.
After my birthday, I got a call to come over and give somebody a COVID swab. So I drove over there, gave them a COVID swab. COVID turned out negative. But this person is in very, very bad shape. So I took my dad to the ER, and he had flu A. And yes, he had the flu shot. It didn't matter. It hospitalized him. So I get him home Christmas Day. Keep in mind, we're supposed to have our family Christmas on Christmas Eve. I get him on Christmas Day, I get him home around like 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning, I don't remember when. Come in, and Mom is not responsive. So got her up, got her dressed, and took her to the ER. And turns out she had the flu, she had pneumonia, and it knocked her out for a full week. So now she's in a rehab hospital. So to say that the last couple of weeks have been bad is putting it mildly.
How old are your parents?
85. Or they will be 85.
When I'm 85, I'm on my way to my projected lifespan of 125, which is what I'm targeting here. So I intend to, still be, the walking around curmudgeon at that age. We'll see how that turns out for me.
Yeah, you may want to temper your expectations, my friend.
Tempering expectations is for weenies. I'm just going to go ahead and plan on being mobile for the entire time. I'll be driving at 120. What could possibly go wrong? There'll be self-driving cars that fly by then.
So needless to say, I haven't really gotten much of anything accomplished.
No, and nor should you have expected to.
It's like I get home from the ER and I'm laying on the couch, Carrie's at work, and I'm on the couch, no problem, just laying there. And Rogue comes behind and he sleeps behind my legs. So I'm drifting off. And then I hear this thump, thump, patter, patter, patter. And I open my eyes in time to see Violet going after and wanting to say hello to Rogue, who was then spooked, who then ran up my arm and leaped off my face, which is why I have this scratch over here.
Oh.
So he
So
sliced me open.
It's a back kitty claw.
He sliced me open
Oh.
really good. Really good. So that's why I have this mark on my face. It's not a smudge. It is a scab. So that was how my end of the year went.
Oh boy.
So then the question becomes, how can 2026 be any worse? I'm afraid to ask.
I found a picture on the internet that I posted to the Discord that said waiting for 2026, and it had the scene from Star Wars with all the rebels waiting for Darth Vader and the Imperials to bust down the door.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. So anyway, that's pretty much what's been going on with me. I haven't gotten to any of my tasks and goals for this year because holy fucking shit, last year is still kicking me in the ass.
You just can't get it all torn off of you. Interestingly, V, going off your comment about what my chapter length is, I stopped counting. I stopped putting a timer on to force myself to sit and write. And I discovered that when I no longer had the timer going, that my word count per chapter increased. So I'm not quite sure how to interpret that, but obviously having the timer meant that I was wrapping things up based on how much time was left on that timer rather than what I had to say.
I believe that.
So
I think after a while our habits change and we keep redoing and reworking how we write. And like, I know how many words I can feasibly put down within 90 minutes. But I also know that I will sustain more words throughout the day if I do them for like 45 minutes and then get up and go do something else, then come back a couple hours later, do another 45 minutes. And that's if I'm writing at the house. For the last 2 weeks, because my favorite coffee shop closes the last 2 weeks of the year. They're privately owned and they're like after like the Sunday before Christmas, like we're done. Come see us after the new year. So like I can't go and get my quarter refills for coffee and have homemade scones while I write. What am I going to do?
This is the tiniest little violin playing.
There's another local coffee shop.
Peanut butter.
Nope. So I can go to the library and sit and write.
When doing the chapters, the last 2/3 of this last book that I wrote and the chapters that I've written for this current work that I'm working on, the chapters ranged from right around 3,000 words, but usually higher, maybe averaging 3,400 words up to 35, and peaking somewhere around 37, 38 in some cases.
That's still awfully consistent, though.
Mm-hmm. Even if you end up cutting 500 or 600 words from each chapter.
Yeah, those numbers are pre-editing cuts.
Yeah, pre-editing.
And the numbers that I'm counting for production for the year are going to be ones that are pre-editing.
Okay.
As they should be. I mean, words is words. So, Chris is bringing up an important thing because public domain, January 1st.
If you're in the U.S. Public domain in the U.S.
If you're in the U.S., because copyright rules are different in every country. So, did anything get into the public domain that you might read for your Patreon channel when that started? I have a handful of things that I am working on. We'll talk about plans for this year, but there are a few that I looked at. My personal challenge is finding stuff that's going to fit a femme voice of how I sound, and that 30 people aren't going to have already recorded. So, yes, Nancy Drew is, and I promise you, people have already gone and tackled that.
I'm waiting for the horror flick based on it.
The thing is, you're waiting for the what?
The horror movie to be based on it, because they're doing horror movies of all the properties that are getting released.
Well, here's the thing. There are only 4 titles. So there are only 4 Nancy Drew titles that are actually in the public domain as of January 1st. And then it's additional titles after that. But
the shadow.
That's not gonna hit with this. But I have a few. I've got one I'm working on, and I've got the sequel that I'm working on. It's making time, and also searching for stuff, because another good place to look are old like science fiction short story magazines, because a lot of your pulpy magazines that came out in the 20s and 30s, a lot of that stuff is going in the public domain now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always a good spot. It could be Miss Marple, but I believe that's British, and
yeah, that would be different. The publishing
it would be
in the United
different.
States would be
Ooh.
different. No, Lord.
The Shadow.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's cassette tapes. I don't have a cassette player anymore. I haven't had one for a very long time.
I'm pretty sure
you
I
can-
have one in my closet here.
You can go somewhere and have them transfer that to CD for you.
I might have to end up
DVD.
doing that. But yeah, I loves me some Shadow and some pulpy vigilante
And
justice.
Nobody who knows you is shocked. No one. So it's 2026, as we've mentioned multiple times, which means it is a new year to not suck. There's a new year to get things written, new year to get things published, new year to create new stuff. So what are you doing? What are you doing about 2026 that you didn't do in 2025? Don't talk at once. It's very annoying.
Consistency.
Consistent.
Just like I mentioned earlier, I've been very much for the last several years hit or miss, taking time off from writing, doing other things, and then getting into a rush of having to overwork myself near the end of the deadline to make it happen. And I've decided I don't want to play that game anymore.
Okay.
I want to go ahead and wrap up the book ahead of time and start building up a little bit of a cushion there by writing every single day and get ahead a little bit on what I'm doing.
Consistency is the hobgoblin of small minds. I think in this context, it's a little bit of a different thing, because I would love if my builder was consistent with how they built my house. I don't think that's a hobgoblin of small minds.
I don't think in
that's
this
just
instance
what
that it
you
is
do.
either.
No.
I'm tired of having to spend a week and a half exhausting myself trying to meet the deadline because I put it off, saying, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do that. No, I can't do that.
Consistency is good. What about you, V?
So I always preface these kind of talks with, I taught this shit for 15 years to college students. And just because you teach it doesn't mean you're very good at taking your own advice. But last year for me was a little weird because it took me more or less the whole year to figure out how to manage kind of coming to terms with having ADHD, being medicated for it, and then going, oh, so I have to be cool with this and not like beat myself up about it. For me, that's really hard to do. But then on the flip side, I had proof that if I wrote stuff on a regular basis and had an outline, shit got done.
Mm-hmm.
And even though, I mean, the co-authored thing is done, it's off, there's a release date. Woohoo. But also writing stuff for myself. I've not finished something for myself that I've written on my own that I felt is good enough to edit. I finished stuff before, but there've been a whole lot of holes going back. I'm like, oh, well, this sucks. I'm not touching it. This one, even though it's not perfect, it is going to be easier to fix, and easier to get that second draft done.
Right.
So Terry talks about consistency. I'm one of those people, I like to find a word to focus on for the year. And strange enough, my word is focus, because I spent last year taking on too many things.
Yes, you did.
And yes, I did. And I didn't work as much as I wanted to. I didn't narrate as much as I wanted to. And I am setting things up so that I can focus on writing for myself. Setting things up so that I can better hustle from myself and my pseudonym. And to say no to more things and dial back. Because even if I love doing something, it doesn't necessarily love me back, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's the best thing for me. So I journal a lot, just because it helps the brain weasels kind of get into a pen and get in a line for 20 minutes, so I can kind of go, okay, you stay here. So coming up with writing, setting up outlines. So essentially, once this project is done this weekend, or by Monday, I'm going to give myself the next 2 weeks to write the outline for the trilogy that I want.
Right.
And I'm not doing it from scratch. I've got notes. I've journaled about it. It's a story that has lived in my head for 10 years. It's evolved and changed, but it needs to be outlined now. And then after those 2 weeks are done, chunk the first part of the trilogy and start writing. And at least what I've done now is I've proven that I can write consistently and finish something. Okay, I can do it again.
Exactly.
So
talking about, selecting a word or going the whole words route, just remember when you're selecting words that English as a language is so inconsistent in how it's utilized. And, you could use metal as an example. Things that are metal are metallic, but it doesn't hold true for iron, which I find kind of ironic.
You did all that just to make that joke?
Yes,
he did.
But I hate you so much.
Yeah, no, I've done
so
it
much.
I've done it a while, and I didn't do it last year, but when I did it, it worked. So just taking time to really think about it and be intentional. So that's my bit. What about
shopping efficiently? I'm having trouble seeing how this works
with AI. Well, somebody asked me where I can buy. I mean, sure you could, except there's the whole price fixing.
Well, it's making up things though. It's picking what word makes more sense coming next, and AI hallucinates. Where can I buy the cheapest price X? Oh, you can get it at this supermarket down the road that doesn't really exist, but I made it up because it sounds good.
James Durrell says, please, Lord, grant me the power to slap people over the internet. How many times have we all wanted that?
He must have just heard my dad joke.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he heard the dad joke. And...
I have to remind the mighty Ginger. I may have condemned myself to a year of awful things because I bought him a dad joke of the day tearaway calendar.
No, V, what are you doing? What are you doing? You should never give a dad actual dad jokes. So they come out.
If they come out with a book that says, a dad joke a day, then it is that dad's responsibility to work hard to try to find a place during that day where he can drop that dad joke on someone.
There is a guy at the independent living place that mom and dad are at when they're not in the fucking hospital. And whenever I see him, he's this little guy. He's probably like, I don't know, 5'7" or something like that. And every time you see him, he just starts rattling off dad jokes. He says, hi, how you doing? And then he just starts going on the jokes. And it just doesn't end until you get away from him. He just keeps going. So if you're trapped in an elevator with him for 4 fucking floors, you can hear like 10 different dad jokes.
He's passing on wisdom to the next generation.
Oh, is that what we're calling it? I would say brain damage, but that's just me.
Is it against the Geneva Convention?
Yeah, something like that. He's actually a really good guy. Really good guy. That just made me think of him though. Because he was a dad joke a second. He must have calendars worth. Trapped in his brain. It's pretty bad. It's really bad.
I only have one kid left at home. I have to find new and exciting ways to torture her.
Wait, that begs the question. If they're dad jokes, are there mom jokes? I don't know that I've ever heard a mom joke, and I'm not sure really what one would be if they actually exist. V?
We're too tired to make them up.
They're too brain dead for trying to carry them in. Everything else
that we're doing, you're expecting us to also make up jokes? Come on.
James says that joke was so awful, Terry, it was a grandfather joke.
Through the ages it goes.
A joke so bad it falls down generations. It takes down generations might be the more proper way to say it.
Yep.
Chris says, my favorite dad joke. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? She heard he was a fun guy. A mom joke is just a dad joke spoken by a mom. But typically actually would work. Funny.
Oh.
Ow. Very much.
No pressure, V. No pressure to get those funny jokes.
I thought of an awful one.
Oh, please share.
Like, what's a mom joke? It's like, well, look in the mirror. But
winning.
I find your DNA disgusting. Get out of my sight.
That's it. You just wait until some kid does something really obnoxious and you go, you're adopted. Just straight face, you're adopted.
Oh, that'll fuck a kid up for life. That's mean.
Sadly, with how all three of my kids look, the resemblance is too close.
There was
even with the red hair,
something that the story went by on Facebook years ago, talking about a family that over the holidays, that one of the kids had bought everybody a DNA test. One of those DNA tests go around, and that started mom saying, "Oh, really? You only need to have one person do that. There's no need to spend that kind of money and whatnot. Oh no, it'll be fun to do that." And then an hour later, mom and dad are arguing in their bedroom, and we're discussing amongst ourselves which one of us is adopted.
Wow.
The end of that story came out that they were in fact all, I believe, adopted.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
And they had no idea.
Oops.
Well, it wasn't a bad thing, and the person that was telling the story, the child that said it, didn't feel that it was a bad thing. There was some reason why it had been done. I think the mother was sterile or something like that, and so that's what they did. But I really can't remember the details. But it was not a negative story. But it was interesting. You know, I could just imagine the four sibling huddle going, "What do you think? Who is it? Which one of us is it?"
It's you. I've always hated you. Xander says, I said that to my brother that he was adopted, and he spun it and said, thank God, I was worried it'd look more like your dumbass.
There you go, winning.
That's pretty good. So, Paul, your plans. What are your thoughts on this whole...
Plans? We don't make plans here. We don't do that. All we do is react to the fucking world falling down on us.
Good night, everybody.
I have PTS fucking D from plans that don't work or just never get off the ground. I'm going to focus more on my Patreon this year.
Okay.
I'm going to start recording Extinction this next week or the week after I go through one more deal, and we'll do a exclusive cast, and it will not be publicly podcast until both books are published. So the patrons will get a treat, an exclusive only treat, and that means I can give them the ebook and the audio book when I finish recording it and all that good stuff. And maybe that'll grow the Patreon a bit more and help out with some finances. And of course, I got to get Oceania and Extinction published. That has to happen this year. Some way, somehow, it has to happen. After that, I don't know. I got to finish TMZ2, but once I finish that, I am free to do whatever the fuck I want to do. I have no idea what that is yet, but I am free to write something that, whatever I want to write, which is probably going to go back to horror science fiction, but we'll see. We'll see. And also I got to finish kicking the blackout to wide availability, the rest of the series. So I'm waiting on some things to expire, which I think expire this week, and then I can start moving the rest of the books over, which will be good. And then it's going to be time to figure out advertising. I'm not looking forward to it. So if you have resources about the advertising and how it's changed over all the years since the last time I tried to do this, please feel free to offer them to me in the live channel. That is more or less my plan, apart from fewer hospitalizations this year. Last year was 6. Let's get it down to 1 or 2, please. It's been fun. Yeah, I don't sound bitter at all. Planes don't really survive contact with the enemy / reality. No, they don't. But they give you a good idea of where it's just like an outline. It doesn't survive writing it. The outline is there to basically just get your head around, and so are plans. They have to change, and they're going to change. It's just the nature of them. So I wouldn't get stuck in the mud.
How do you like evaluate? Do you evaluate like a month in, 2 months in? Do you give yourself time to stop and check and course correct?
Oh yeah, especially with something like doing ads or anything like that. There has to be a moment where you look at what you're doing and see if it's working. And if it's not, you need to decide if you're just going to stop doing it altogether, or if you're going to modify how you're doing it. Like for instance, this may be the year that Shadow Publications has ads. This might be the year. This might be the year I join a podcast network and say, you know, the numbers are gone and everything else. Nobody's listening anymore. Do I save the podcast or do I shut it down? It's not quite that dire, but it's bad these days. It's not good. So I have to make some decisions along those lines, and we'll see what happens. But I'll be excited to write something new or finish something. That'd be nice. So
it could happen.
I need to go through all my manuscripts and see which ones I can salvage and finish, and I can probably hammer Neptune Scars into shape and get it published this year too. So that would be good. I just hope I have the second one in the trilogy ready by the time that happens. Maybe that's what I'll be working on.
I went and found the details of that particular story and posted it into the live channel.
Got it.
The end result, I believe, if my speed reading was correct, was that partway through Mom's marriage, the first girl's daughter, the father died, and a friend that was there became the new father, and so that's why there were, DNA squabbles.
Gotcha.
So nothing untoward happened, just a facet of their history and family that they were not aware of.
Still a good grist for a book.
I'm sure it would be. DNA tests for everyone.
Then you find
I didn't read the story, but when I was searching
mother.
for this one of the headlines said, my father and I did a DNA test just for fun, and I found out that my father was my half-brother, and I'm not even sure that's possible. So we went to ask Mom. I didn't read the story, but I'm like, I can hardly imagine. I do not know how that is possible, but there you are.
Rowdy says, people edit outlines? Yeah, if you want to keep them up to date.
Yeah. Or if you get halfway through and you realize, I don't like where it's going. I think it can go a better way. Let me fix it.
And he also says, who needs to edit an outline when you can reverse engineer your outline after the book is written? How are you doing that? Rapidly. That's my question.
Well, one of the things that Dean Wesley Smith talked about doing back when he was giving writing advice for free instead of selling it on the internet was writing your outline as you went. Mm-hmm. Instead of, do your pantsing, but then when you write a chapter, go ahead and write it out like it's part of the outline so that it's documented as you're going. Do it after each chapter, and that will give you the springboard to keep going on the outline you've already accomplished and still be discovery writing going forward.
Yeah. The other thing is it allows you to better synopsize. Better write a synopsis.
We'll call that a word.
I'm going to try that. Write a better synopsis for your book if you're going to publish. If you're going to try to get it to a publisher or something like that, it's easier for you to drag stuff out of the book directly. And God help you if they ask for first 3 chapters in an outline. Well, then you've got it.
Yeah.
So things to think about. Paul needs to write in the fantasy genre. Imagine the dark fantasy or horror fantasy that could exist.
It's true. If Paul didn't hate fantasy.
I will argue that some of your Garaga stuff falls into that category. It all depends on how you market it.
It does. Let's see. Rick says, I don't usually bother to edit outlines. If I depart from my outline, it's pantsing we go. A pantsing we will go. Oh, JR says, they solved the 30-year-old murder when a family did a DNA test. Turns out grandma had it passed. There's another book right there. Let's see. Paul hating fantasy could make unique fantasy. Imagine all the tropes that could be tossed aside. Yeah, I'd imagine nobody who's going to read it.
Every time I imagine Paul considering fantasy, I see him as Scrooge. Bah, humbug.
Oh, God, it's not quite that bad, but it's close.
I don't need another story idea. I don't need another story idea. I don't need another story idea.
I'm curious, what story idea did that prompt?
Okay, no, I have... My sister-in-law, who is a lovely human being and who is a horror aficionado, asked me at one point over the holidays, she's like, do you ever think you're going to run out of ideas to write about? And I went, no. And she's like, well, how do you keep coming up with ideas? People talk. My brain runs. End of story.
Yes.
And
It's not a post office box in Schenectady?
But yeah, the whole taking a Scrooge, oh my gosh, A Christmas Carol, taking that and twisting it into a horror, twisting it into a romance, twisting it's a skeleton. It's a skeleton, and then you're just running rampant. So sometimes it's a skeleton running rampant. That's your horror.
Okay, so the three ghosts of Christmas are basically like, I don't know, having an orgy while all this is going on. Is that where we're going with this?
No. I mean, but if you want to write that story, be my guest.
That sounds like a Paul interpretation on everything.
Oh man, 3 ghosts of fantasy past, present, and future visit Paul in the night. Wait a minute. I thought we had a
ghost of fantasy past be Tolkien. Tolkien coming to torture him about, you need to write these bookshops to go ahead and document every single little thing.
I'm sorry. We're going to talk about that right now. So your ghost so your fantasy ghost, your ghost of fantasy past would be a hobbit. It would be it would be like Samwise Gamgee coming in with a sack full of potatoes, talking about fantasy past. Or no,
fantasy is good and healthy for you, just like potatoes.
There you go.
I have no response to any of this.
And then fantasy present. I mean, are we going dragons? Like some huge dragon, just
Just yank a character out of a Sanderson book.
Come to lecture him on fantasy present.
No, you gotta yank a character from Brandon Sanderson. That's what you got to do. Grab one of his characters.
So basically, you're saying that the ghost of Brandon Sanderson, who technically is actually still alive, is going to come and talk to you. But since it's Brandon Sanderson, it's going to take 17 days for him to explain everything about what he's doing.
See, I was going on more like an Anne McCaffrey sort of like little dragon curled around the house, talking epic high fantasy adventures and all that. But what's fantasy future?
I don't know, but I'm still stuck in the present where Terry just obviously violated
fantasy
somebody's
future
good name.
Is going to be cat girls. That's what it's got to be.
Cat girls? What?
Well, you didn't say what kind of fantasy.
And that's the thing. You're not wrong. Like far future, crazy, like, yeah, I can see that.
James says Terry exhibiting absolutely zero judgment. Yes.
He's not wrong.
17 days sounds more like Robert Jordan.
He's not wrong either.
It all goes back to Brandon Sanderson. It's like the what is it, seven separation? Cat girls and bunny girls rule. I got nothing. Xander says, I want more high-tech fantasy. We hear about the advanced magic civilization, but we never get stories in that advanced magic civilization. Where are my bio-arcane mechanical implants?
There's been a couple of lit RPGs that I've read that have dealt with somebody from a high-tech magical civilization being reborn into a low-tech one and working on building the civilization there. I don't know that I've actually read one where it's present in the high-tech world.
I mean...
Rick says Shadowrun.
Sure, I'll buy that.
Whoa, what, JR? Harem Lit has done this too? I've seen this before. What?
He is not wrong.
Yeah.
He is not wrong.
I narrated one, too.
Bright on Netflix was a missed opportunity. Yeah, it was.
Bright was an excellent show. I wish that they'd been able to do more. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to see modern fantasy, Paul, Bright is something that you should see.
I've seen it.
Because, have you? It's definitely modern fantasy.
That I might be able to write. Although it just turned into aliens, so what the fuck. Shadowrun is close, but it's more alternate Earth with magic since magic arrived in the 80s, then we got magic cyberpunk. Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't present fantasy also technically be Harry Dresden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we're not talking a dragon. Maybe just some hard-bitten magic detective shows up at Paul's house at 2 a.m. Bang, bang, bang.
Get in, loser. We're going to save the world.
I'd rather talk to Harry Dresden than the alternatives.
There we go.
Come on, loser.
There we go. Where are we going? Save the world? No, we're going to the bar. What the? Okay.
Fairies have taken over the bar. Get in, loser.
Rick says I'd rather it was a dragon.
Why not both?
Carnival Row, never saw it. I've heard good things,
so
never
good.
seen it.
Oh, it was magic mixed in with, I think, Elizabethan. Maybe no, it was further ahead.
Victorian.
I think 1800s.
Would have been Victorian.
Jared, correct me if I'm wrong. Probably I'm wrong, so correct me. But it was there were 2 seasons. It had Orlando Bloom in it, and I would say it definitely had if you like Dresden, then if you like Dresden and you like more period-esque pieces, wonderful. I think the reason that it didn't get renewed may have been because of the whole COVID bit and how a lot of productions got shut down, but also it was incredibly expensive with the special effects. Because you had
rumors that they're talking about doing it again.
Sweet baby Jesus, please. I was so mad. I was like, is there a book? No, there's no book. The original IP was only as a Netflix series.
I was talking Dresden.
So mad.
I was talking Dresden as a TV series.
Oh, Dresden. Damn it. But yeah, it was really good. And I was really, really bothered that it did not continue.
Xander says, I'm wanting a high fantasy world that's gotten into high magic tech civilization. We get some of those settings in MTG.
Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering and Sword World.
Yeah, I see that.
There's a role-playing game that I think might make for some interesting fiction. And I haven't read a lot of it, but it involves, traveling to other worlds that are kind of magical through gateways that are definitely magical. And the role-playing game is called Sword Maidens. And the reason it is because while Earth is still a high-tech world, they've discovered this other place, but women have the ability to shield themselves from the harmful effects of the environment, and men that go there just go mad. So the only people that can be explorers are women, and they're called shield maidens.
So there are sirens out in space? Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't know the details of it. I'm unsure, but whatever they're doing, there's something hostile out there that wants to get into Earth and cause mayhem here. So they must go out to defend it on somebody else's turf, and only women can do it, and they're shield maidens.
Interesting. Xander says what so many do is like, what if we turn dark cyberpunk and slap some magic on it, which is boring. I don't want Cyberpunk 2077 with Skyrim slapped on it.
What, you don't want Halo with wands and fireballs?
Xander says, but why I am working on these stories myself, there is a lack of it, and I'll eventually make it. Why am I not working on those stories myself?
If you don't have a genre that you want to write in, make it.
Yeah.
I did. Nobody showed up.
Then that's
Skyrim is
obviously a
awesome.
marketing problem.
Yep. Skyrim is awesome. Shut your mouth.
He's not saying it's not awesome. He's saying that he doesn't want the two slammed together and call that the new genre. But no, I get that. Like that's what I want to write. I realized it's not necessarily space opera. It's not quite space western. And I realized I want to do a bunch of like political intrigue sort of things, because that's what I like to watch. Not political intrigue, like corporate stuff, like Landman and what's the other one? Mayor of Kingstown. This kind of nebulous hierarchies where you've got characters who manage to move between the two strata and realize, oh, they both suck.
There's a story that was on for a while ago that's based on one of Stephen King's projects called, was the show named Haven, or was that just the town? I'm trying to
sounds
remember
like the town.
Haven was definitely the town, but I don't know that was the name of the show.
No.
It was excellent. It involved all kinds of modern day weirdness, and it's definitely modern fantasy as well.
Xander says, soon we have floating megacities, magic hoverboards, and dragons and cool swords that shoot lasers.
Sharks with freaking lasers!
And Xander says, we can't let Todd Howard get away with re-releasing Skyrim. It is now on the Switch too. He can't keep doing this. Yes, he can. As long
He
as
says,
he's making
au
money.
contraire, I can keep doing this.
James says, I made a TTRPG for friends called Helix, where there were rifts between worlds, some high fantasy, some sci-fi, but mages sucked in sci-fi realms and guns failed to work in magic realms. Yep, that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And Terry, you're right. It is called Haven.
Okay.
The series was called that.
It, unlike whoever produced this, definitely cut Stephen King out of it in some ways, because it was not dark in the way a lot of the things he writes is. It actually was fun to watch and fun to see what happened. And it wasn't a turnoff like a lot of Stephen King stuff is.
I have no comment on any of your assertions and cunts.
Just watch The Dome and you'll know what I mean.
I don't watch that because that was a piece of shit from ground to nut, or ground to sky. The book was crap. The movie was crap.
I never got past The Dome closing, because as soon as they started killing off anybody interesting in the first couple of chapters, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done here.
I like the Simpsons version better. Yes, I was reaching for something and didn't get it, Rick. I missed ground to nut. Well, that's also not good. Let's see. I don't like King, but I hold a grudge from back in 2004, 2005. Okay. Anyway, multi-classing became important. That's really interesting. So what have I got? I've got an arcane mage who was also a hacker, depending on what realm he's in and what he's doing.
He's got the mage, he's got his wand, and he's got his 44 Magnum. One of these is going to solve my problem.
One of these is going to solve the problem. Exactly. So when you're talking about multi-class, you've got folks who are dual disciplined, right? Or multi-disciplined, I think is what I want to say.
You guys are giving me ideas. You people suck.
Yeah, that's not going to be, controversial.
Don't like King because he screwed up the ending of The Stand. That is not my favorite book of his. I don't like that one. I really don't.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah,
there's a reason why people that are famous really should realize that their opinion isn't actually any more valuable than anyone else's. Seriously. Your opinions stink just as much as mine, pal.
Hey, JR, I think a book or story you should read by him is Hearts in Atlantis. I think you should give that one a try. It would be very interesting to see what you make of that one.
I forget which actor it was, but somebody asked him his opinion on something, and he said, "Why would you even care about my opinion? I'm just an actor. I just repeat lines and portray characters. My opinion on this other subject is not something you should be seeking."
I feel the same way about reality TV stars. Let's see, James says, actually, my players worked on that crossbow, bows, and slingshots worked wherever you were. This is true. So dual discipline weaponry, weaponry and technology that can work in both worlds. I get that. Xander says, my opinions are the best ones. That's what I tell myself, so it must be true. I think, therefore, I am the greatest.
I am the greatest. I am the greatest.
I think I worked for you at one point at a certain company. I think I worked for you. Oh, okay, well, I got it.
There's a scene from Firebirds where you've got Nicolas Cage as a Apache helicopter pilot in the simulator, just blowing shit up left and right, sitting there going boom, 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 boom. I am the greatest. I am the greatest. Right until he blows up and crashes.
Well, okay then. Well, any final thoughts on this scheduling crisis before we start wrapping up here? No?
Well, I think we all touched on it. One of the things that some of us have to keep in mind is that no matter what we schedule, we are often at the whim of other people, especially those for whom we bear some responsibility for.
Right.
And when you can share your plans with people, they're often more likely to be able to help you where they can. And then the other thing is give yourself wiggle room, or pad your time, and check in, give yourself time to check in on how you're doing. I don't know. I have calendars.
Garage doors opening and I'm wondering what's going on.
Yeah. If you saw the wall in front of me, I put in all of the dates and times where I know I can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's immediately off the board. And then the time in the middle, it's okay, so that's when I can plan things. And that helps me set more realistic expectations. Because it's all well and good to say, yes, I'm going to do this. And if you set yourself up for failure, you're going to be shit out of luck.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Well, if you have a comment or question about this episode, you can go to our website, deadrobotssociety.com, punch that comment button or contact button and send us an email. If you'd like to leave a comment on this episode specifically, you can go to youtube.com/DRS podcast, find this episode, and send us a comment. Tell us what you're thinking, and like and subscribe so you know when we're live, which is 3 p.m. CST every Saturday except when we're not. I'll post when those things happen. And if you'd like to keep up with the crazies, you can always join our Discord channel. Link is in the show notes. We'd love to have you. We always get strange stuff in there. You're welcome, JR. And if you want to support the show, you can find us at buymeacoffee.com/Paul. I almost said my name. buymeacoffee.com/DRS podcast and patreon.com/DRS podcast. For as little as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive live shows and scenes like this where Terry's head is being cleaned by one of the cats. And by clean, I mean hoovered.
Artistically styled.
Artistically styled. And at the $10 level, you get your name read. And our $10 patrons are Juan Valentin, James Terrell, Xander, Antoine Batts, Lisa Slack, and Tim Niederreiter. Thank you to all of our patrons for making this show possible. Will AI bring the dead robot society back to life? Discuss. No, it won't. It just won't. There are too many former hosts that have joined the afterlife.
Yes, in the afterlife, they have a show called The Live Robot Society.
Robot Society. You go, Justin. On that note, we're getting the fuck out of here. Y'all have a great week, and we'll see you next time, next Saturday. Bye.